Is this real? China is unleashing a swarm of drones, millions of winged eyes from DJI and Huawei, like ghosts from a cyberpunk future. Their hypersonic lightning bolt, the DFZF, reaps through the sky at March 10, while Baidu's Digital Dragon weaves a network that jams Taiwan's air defenses. In response, America summons its Titans. A desert-born giant crafted by SpaceX and Lockheed Martin activates the Helios laser and the swarm of X-47B drones. IBM Quantum's brain whispers commands, while Starlink satellites and Navy railguns strike from orbit, turning tanks into pixel dust. This isn't Iron Man, it's a war of technology on steroids. Swarm versus beam, stealth versus speed. China's J-20 hides in the shadows, while America's FAL burns through the horizon. This isn't a movie, damn it, it's real. But let's imagine, we're in a parallel reality where the clash between tech giants has reached its peak. Only the strongest will survive and take control of the planet. The one with faster machines, smarter code, and sharper weapons. On one side, America, a titan of steel and light, armed to the teeth with orbital lasers and killer robots. On the other, China, the Shadow Dragon, its drone swarms and quantum networks wrapping the world like a web. This isn't just a battle of technology, it's a showdown for the throne of the future. And the stakes? Everything or nothing. In this video, we'll compare the tech giants, the Western Eagle and the Eastern Dragon, to find out who's faster, smarter, and stronger. And ultimately, who will lead the world. Let's go! We begin with civilian technologies, China versus USA. First trump card on the table, the Yangwang U8, a full-size hybrid SUV from BYD with 4 electric motors, 1100 HP and E4 tech, individual drive to each wheel. It can float on the water like a boat and turn in place like a tank. The US counterpart, the Rivian R1S, an electric SUV with 4 motors, 835 HP, powerful but lacking amphibious capability. Tesla's Cybertruck, up to 845 HP, also comes close to its Chinese brother, but focuses more on rugged design and armor. In comparison, the Yangwang U8 wins in uniqueness, amphibious mode, maneuverability, while Rivian and Tesla lead in charging infrastructure and mass production. No wonder the band Rammstein has a track titled America.
We're all living in America, America ist wunderbar.
Like it or not, the brain drain to the US has done its job. Okay, but what about Chinese brains? For example, SkyTrain, a suspended magnetic train project from China Railway (CRRC). It uses maglev technology with speeds up to 80 km per hour, and prototypes are already being tested. Energy consumption is 70% lower than conventional subways or trams. The first model was introduced in 2016. Nanjing presents SkyTrain. Range up to 4 hours on a single charge with battery replacement in just 2 minutes. Capacity 2-3 carriages, 10,000–30,000 passengers per hour. As for a counterpart in the US, there is currently no operational suspended train system comparable to China's SkyTrain. There are concept and prototypes like SkyTran, a proposed personal high-speed transit system, but it is not yet operational. The Memphis Suspension Railway in Tennessee, a small suspended train connecting the mainland with Mott Island, was shut down in 2014 due to maintenance issues. As we can see in this category, China takes the lead, so the score is now 1-1. Let's move on. Ehang 216S. The Ehang 216S is an autonomous electric vertical takeoff and landing eVTOL aircraft developed by the Chinese company Ehang Holdings Limited. It's a 2-seat passenger drone designed for urban air mobility (UAM), such as air taxis, sightseeing flights, and logistics. The Ehang 216S became the world's first eVTOL to receive a type certificate from the Civil Aviation Administration of China (CAAC) in October 2023, paving the way for commercial operations. Top speed 130 km per hour, range up to 35 km, max altitude 3,000 meters. There is no direct counterpart to the Ehang 216S in the US currently in commercial operation. However, Joby Aviation S4 is the closest competitor, an eVTOL with 4 seats expected to be certified by the FAA in 2025. Speed up to 320 km per hour, range 241 km. It's a more advanced system, but not yet in service. As you can see, China takes the lead again, so the score is now 2-1. Actually, no, make that 3-1, and here's why. GOVE. This is a concept of a flying Chinese electric vehicle presented in June 2023 at the annual GAC Tech Today in Guangzhou. This unique and innovative hybrid combines the features of a car and an unmanned aerial vehicle. In December 2024, GAC announced a new model called AirJet under the GOVE brand, with a range of up to 200 km on a single charge. Its airspeed reaches 80 to 120 km per hour, while on the ground it runs at about 60-80 km per hour, similar to standard GAC electric vehicles. The cabin is made of 90% carbon fiber, reducing its weight to a third of a traditional car, about 300-400 kilograms without the chassis. Certification is planned for 2025, with production set to begin by 2027 in 2-3 cities in China. Okay, so what's the US response? The US answer is the Alef Aeronautics Model A, a flying car with vertical takeoff and landing, if tall, developed in the US as a counterpart to Chinese projects like the Ehang 216S or GOVE. Alef Aeronautics is a fully electric eVTOL car drone capable of driving on roads and taking off vertically. On the road, its speed is limited to 40 km per hour. It's classified as a low-speed vehicle, LSV. In the air, it can fly at up to 55 km per hour, estimated as exact data is not disclosed. A range on the road, 320 km. In the air, 177 km. Payload, 2 passengers, total weight up to 200 kilograms. So here is the breakdown. If we're judging by what's already operational, the clear winner is the Ehang 216S. It's already delivering results. If we're talking innovation and the wow factor, Alef Model A and GOVE share the top spot. But Alef shines a bit brighter thanks to its design. Personally, I pick Ehang for its real-world presence, but Alef is the dream you want to see flying in the sky. What about you? What do you think is cooler? Let us know in the comments. And now let's talk about Robotaxis. By the way, friends, speaking of robots, click the window in the top right corner of the screen to check out our video on future technologies that could make you rich. On today's menu, driverless taxis from Baidu Apollo, model RT6. Fully autonomous and already operating in cities like Beijing and Shenzhen. Speed up to 60 km per hour. Range depends on the battery, around 200 km with automatic battery swapping. Capacity 4 passengers, spacious cabin with independent rear seats. Here is what's interesting. The cost of the RT6 is half that of the previous model and cheaper than Tesla's Cybertruck. Robotaxi scale. By the end of 2024, Wuhan already had 1,000 robotaxis and recorded 9 million rides by March 2025. Over 100 million kilometers driven, RT6 robotaxis showed an accident rate 14 times lower than human drivers. And the fare? In Wuhan, the base rate is just 4 yuan, 55 cents, compared to 18 yuan, $2.48 for a regular taxi. I already want to take a ride in one of these taxis. How about you? What about US counterparts? Let's fly through the list. Waymo One and Cruise. Waymo One by Google, Level 4 autonomous taxi, electric vehicle based on Chrysler Pacifica, Jaguar I-Pace. Speed up to 105 km per hour, range around 300 km. Sensors, lidars, radars, cameras. 360 view up to 300 meters. Already operational in Phoenix, San Francisco and Los Angeles since 2018, public since 2020. Now Cruise by GM. Level 4 autonomous taxi, electric vehicle Cruise Origin, no steering wheel. Speed up to 50 km per hour in cities, range about 240 km, sensors 5 liters, 21 radars, 16 cameras. Tested in San Francisco, Austin and Phoenix, but operations were suspended in 2023 after an accident. GM invested $10 billion, but the project is now frozen due to safety concerns. Okay, so friends, Waymo One is faster and has a longer range than Baidu Apollo, that's a fact, and Waymo collects more data during its rides. But the Baidu RT6 costs almost 4 times less per unit, and let's not forget its rapid growth. 1,000 taxis in Wuhan, 9 million rides by 2025, thanks to government support. Plus, Baidu offers the cheapest rides, 55 cents, made possible by its scale. Based on all this, here's my verdict. 1 point each for Baidu Apollo and Waymo One. That brings the score to 4-2 in favor of China. Now let's storm through military technologies, China versus USA. Hypersonic missiles. What does China have today? Let's start with the tongue twister DFZF. It's a hypersonic ballistic missile with a maneuverable re-entry vehicle reaching speeds up to Mach 10, 12,250 km per hour. It's virtually undetectable by most modern air defense systems due to its high speed and flight path. Operational since the late 2010s, successfully tested in 2019. The US responds with its X-51A Waverider, an experimental hypersonic missile capable of reaching Mach 12, 14,700 km per hour. Testing began in 2010 with the last successful flight in 2013, but the program has yet to enter mass production. Comparison: the DFZF wins in terms of readiness. It's already deployed and integrated into China's arsenal. Meanwhile, the X-51A is faster but remains a prototype, giving the US a disadvantage in practical use. Clear winner China, due to its operational combat status. That's another point to China. Score now 5-2. Anti-satellite weapons. China has the SC-19, a kinetic anti-satellite weapon capable of destroying satellites in low Earth orbit. Its first test was in 2007, destroying the FY-1C weather satellite at an altitude of 865 kilometers, which caused international concern due to space debris. The US counters with X-37B, a classified orbital unmanned spaceplane launched in 2010. It's believed to be capable of destroying satellites or conducting surveillance. It has spent over 10 years in space as of March 2025, but its exact capabilities remain secret. Comparison: the SC-19 has proven effective but creates space debris. The X-37B is more versatile and potentially more powerful due to its long missions, but its secrecy makes its true strength hard to evaluate. Here I'll make a bold call and give the win to the US, because the hidden tech may contain something truly unique, potentially surpassing China. Updated score 5-3. The US is catching up. AI and combat management. China has the Digital Dragon, Baidu plus HQ-9B, a cloud-based air defense and combat management system that integrates Baidu's AI with HQ-9B missiles, analog to the Patriot system. It synchronizes drones, air defense, and reconnaissance in real time. It scales rapidly thanks to China's infrastructure. The US responds with FEL, free electron laser, and AI systems, a mix of laser weaponry with power up to 1 MW, tested since 2021 for the Navy, for destroying drones and missiles. AI in the F-35 Alice and MQ-9 ensures precise control, though it's not as centralized as China's system. Comparison: the Digital Dragon wins in deployment speed and integration, but the US FAL is a breakthrough in pinpoint defense. US AI is more precise but less scalable. We'll give 1 point to each side, making the score 6-4. Next, as the song goes, airplanes first and the girls come later. Stealth fighter. China flies the J-20 Mighty Dragon, a 5th-generation fighter in service since 2017. Key features: stealth technology, enhanced AI navigation, speed up to Mach 2.5, 3,060 km per hour, range of 6,000 km with refueling. Not bad at all. And what about the Yankees? The US responds with the F-35 Lightning II. This is the 5th-generation stealth fighter in service since 2016. Speed up to Mach 1.6, 1,930 km per hour, range of 2,200 km, equipped with Alice, AI for logistics and combat. The best electronics in the world. Comparison: the F-35 surpasses the J-20 in electronics, sensors, and combat experience used in NATO, but the J-20 is faster and has greater range, catching up in stealth features. The winner here is the US, due to more mature technology. Score 6-5. Next up, drones. What would we do without them? Combat drone. China has the winged Loong 3, a combat drone in service since 2023. Range 10,000 km, payload up to 2 tons, flight altitude of 12 km. Used for reconnaissance and strikes. The US responds with MQ-9 Reaper, a combat drone in service since 2007, range 1,900 km, payload of 1.7 tons, being upgraded with AI for autonomy. Battle tested: Iraq, Afghanistan. Comparison: the winged Loong 3 holds more promise for the future due to its long range, 10,000 km, low cost, and government support from China, which allows for global-scale deployment and export potential. The MQ-9 Reaper is the current winner thanks to its experience and precision, but its high cost and shorter range limit its future potential. The future favors China if they implement AI and swarm tactics, though the US will remain competitive thanks to quality and integration. Friends, write in the comments, do we give a point to the US and call it a draw, or is China ahead of the whole world? What's your opinion? Who's superior and who owns the future? To put it simply, the US is superior right now. Their technologies, F-35, X-37B, set the standard for quality and versatility, and their experience since 2009, Waymo MQ-9 gives them a maturity advantage. But the future belongs to China. Forgive me, dear Democrats and Republicans. I believe this because the DFZ-F and Winloon 3 are already in service, and government support accelerates progress. Baidu GAC. The US leads in theory, but China leads in practice. The US is superior for now due to experience, but China is catching up fast and could surpass thanks to speed and scale. The future belongs to the one who best balances innovation with scalability. For now, China has the edge. Well, friends, technology is not just about weapons, it's a chance for prosperity. It creates jobs, accelerates science, and improves quality of life. It helps us tackle global challenges and hopefully will aid humankind in colonizing the universe, not become the tool for our own destruction. Subscribe to find out what lies ahead.